Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Bjorn from Triassic Triops, and today we are at the new 180-liter tank, which is about a 45-gallon tank. Let's zoom in a little bit and let's have a look at the new scape. So over here we have a bunch of plants. I went to the store with my girlfriend and we actually picked the plants together. There are a lot of new plants that I actually didn't know before. So well, I have seen them at the store, but I never bought them. My girl picked definitely a nice variety of plants and. Well, I had to work with the plans that she picked and that I picked. So basically, this is what we made, and I did the scaping. She helped me with a lot of side tasks as well. So thank you, babe, for helping me out. Over here we have a nice piece of driftwood, spiderwood. Unfortunately, there has been developing some mold on the wood, but not too bad. It will go away in several weeks, I guess, several days perhaps. Um, we have some Microsorum Windelov over here, which is a beautiful plant. Unfortunately, some of the mold has mounted the Microsorum, so that will disappear in several days. No worries about that. We have some regular little gravel and my usual black gravel and some little rocks, a nice variety of rocks as well. I got some bigger Saru rocks, some I'm not completely, I think this is slate rock or something. Yeah, this is slate rock, but instead of like really large shards, they actually have little bricks instead, or little blocks. And they actually make out perfect nice little rocks, and I use them in my main tank as well at home. I made a little stairway over here. Let's zoom in a little bit. A little stairway to the back. And my idea was to have the Ludwigia diamond red or something grow up here, have some Rotala SP green on the right, and have that grow up here with the nice Microsorum in front of it. And over here we have some Alternantera or something. Not completely sure. I'm sorry guys, I don't know all the plant names yet because we had such a big variety of new plants that I just can't remember all of them anymore. Some Rotala Bossi. I actually made little patches of this plant, and my goal was to actually grow them out a little bit higher, cut them off and keep planting them on the original spots and maybe fill in the scape a little bit. There are quite a lot of crannies filled with gravel that I can actually fill up with the Rotala Bossi, but that's for the future. Actually, I left a lot of spaces unplanted to make sure that I can actually place new plants back that I harvested from my own growing. That's basically what I wanted to do really bad, and I also really like to do is to grow my own plants and eventually use them as well. It's really fun. So it is a really big tank. Never had such a big tank before, so it's the first time. I received permission from my mother-in-law to place a tank in her home, in my girlfriend's home as well. And also it's really nice, so we can actually hang out together at the tank at her place as well. And the fun thing is that I can actually maintain an extra tank as well, have more Triops, make more footage, and I also have a nice big tank where I can grow plants in. Today I also did some maintenance on the tank and I added something new. Let me get some. Give me a second, guys. I need to find the little box or bottle. Oh, here it is. I bought some Easy Life root sticks. Those are little clay root sticks for the roots of your plants. Let me get some. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, there's a little plastic baggie inside the little container. Ah, there they are. So these are little clay bricks or sticks, and you have to put them inside your substrate. Basically, you can turn your inert gravel into some nutritious gravel. I think this stuff dissolves into your gravel and basically becomes a little clay-based nutrient source for your plants. I heard really good stories about using these root sticks, so I was like, yep, let's use it this time, because I actually didn't attach a CO2 system yet. That's something for the future. This tank was really expensive, so we definitely need to save some up for the other equipment in the future. Next projects. So first we're going to start with a low tech tank, just like the way I started with the 60 liter, and I just started buying stuff like in little parts over a longer time. It's fine as well, but I just don't expect the plants to be like extremely beautiful just in like my main tank, because my main tank, you know, it's a high-tech tank. It has a really good filter. I maintain it really well. Not that I'm not gonna maintain this tank very well, but I will be less time spending over here because I'm actually also a lot at home, where I have to spend time with my own tanks, and like all my other Triassic Park stuff is at home. So basically it is a distance extension, but I really don't mind it. I really like to be at my girlfriend's place as well, so definitely really nice that I actually can have a Triops tank at her place right now. So really glad that I could build this tank over here. And as you can see, I also introduced a lot of new floating plants. I went to several stores, but for some reason they really can't get their hands on new floating plants anymore. Um, um, yeah, the sellers just don't have them anymore. So I went to a different store where I know that a guy works, and he basically brings these in from home. So that's really nice to have his instead. There is a large clump over here. Give me a second, guys. Look at that. Just a giant clump of these floating plants. They are collecting over here a little bit because there is a large Vallisneria lace over here. Yep, there is a large Vallisneria lace over here. That's basically collecting them a little bit. Give me a second. Oh, I think it's the current as well. That's possible. I just don't know. I just hope they don't. You know, they shouldn't like submerge, because it basically, yeah, they are floating plants, so they shouldn't be submerged too much. Give me a second, guys, while I fix some of them. Yeah, some just get blown around a little bit, so that's basically what's going wrong over here. I need to fix this problem a little bit. This is not good for your floating plants, because basically if they get wet too much, they just start to die. So this is not healthy. I will fix this up, of course. Maybe I will just cut down one lace or something. We'll be fine. Let's have a look at the other plants in the tank. This is some cardamine or something. It's a really funny, interesting plant. I think it's gonna be a really long plant. Really curious what it's gonna be. Like I said, there is a Vallisneria. We have some Anubias, a really big Anubias. Well, it is a big tank, so a big Anubias wouldn't misfit in this tank, I thought. So we picked a really big Anubias. Never had such a big Anubias before. And some tinier gold coin Anubias over here. Also really beautiful plants. One Bucephalandra broadleaf green. Some Rotala bossy over here. Over here we have some alternantana or something. I'm not completely sure how to pronounce it. So Rotala bossy again, a little patch of them. I really want to extend these a lot because they have really nice tiny little leaves and they look fun. Really nice little plant. Some Anubias, I'm sorry, Cryptocorin. Not completely sure which type it is. I think it was Wenty Brown, not completely sure. But it was a good pot, because I actually got one pot and I got actually 3 pieces out of one little pot. So I was really happy with that little pot. Was only about like €4 or something. So it was really cheap as well. And I was like, oh nice. So I basically have 3 crypts for the price of 1. That's nice. Over here we have some Rotala Bossy again. Bossy. A little pinch of Hermiantium or something, but it actually melted down pretty bad, so I think this patch is not going to survive very well. Then we have something new. I actually forgot the name. What was the name again? Give me a second, guys. The card should be over here. It is a hydrocotyle. Hydrocotyle vulgaris. So that's a really interesting plant. I think it's like a creeping plant. Um, I actually added some sticks below as well to make sure, like, if it's gonna extend to the lower grounds, that there already will be nutrition inside the substrate. So I actually added sticks over here, quite a lot of them, and over here as well into the middle patch. But I actually want to make sure that a large patch is also cleared for the triops to dig in, because the triops will definitely have a lot of fun digging inside the scape. And I think this will be a hot spot as well in the high corner at the right. I hope the guys or the triops won't dig the mountains down like they used to do in my other tanks. But I actually added so much rocks into the scape that a lot of the scape is actually kind of impenetrable, because there are so many rocks, and they could just only like remove the little bit of substrate that's like filling the crannies and stuff. Basically, it is a giant heap of rocks over here, and I just wanted to make sure that the tribes wouldn't be able to, flatten the scape in several months. Let's see. Oh yeah, also over here, nice ridge of the Ludwigia diamond red, super diamond red or something. I'm not completely sure what the name was again. But I'm expecting that these guys will be growing up really high. That was my plan at least. I want to grow them up till here maybe, and then I want to cut them off and use the little pieces to add them to the background. I really want to have a nice large bush over here. And Rotala SP green over here in the back. I want to have a large patch of that stuff as well. I really like the tiny little leaves on this plant. Really tiny little leaves. And actually it is growing in the back as well. But I was expecting that it would grow higher in the future. And I probably want to be at this height or something. Just a nice ridge at the back, if it's possible. That's what I would like. Well, front ground, quite pretty large patch. I hope the tribes will start to dig over here, like on these plateau over here. There is a really large amount of digging space. I think this foreground is basically the same kind of footprint of my 60-liter tank, but still covered with other spots. So I think this is just like a giant sandbox for my tribes to dig in. So I really like this part of the tank, and I actually made sure that this tank part would be a little bit more covered with the new plant. And well, I need to cycle the tank now first for about, like, let's say 2 or 3 weeks. And next step will be introducing some Amano shrimp first. I think I'm gonna buy about 10 or 20 maybe. They are a little bit expensive over here, so I think I would start with 10 or 20 first. And let's see how they will do in this scape. It is pretty open, so I'm hoping that in about 2 or 3 weeks some of the plants actually have grown a little bit higher and are actually covering and shading some parts of the scape for the Amano shrimp. But I would like to have Amano shrimp first, because they actually are really neat, like really happy little cleaners, and they can keep your plants clean pretty well. Also the scape and stuff. And well, I actually, when I first bought my 60-liter tank, I should have like started off at the beginning with having Amano shrimp, because they actually really clean your tank pretty well. So that's why I'm definitely gonna introduce them like at first in this tank, and later I will possibly get some Ottocinklus fishies again, just like last time. In the 60-liter tank I had a combination of Amano shrimp, Ottocinklus, and some people actually are opting for the Chinese algae eater or something, but it is a really large fish in the end. So not completely sure if it's a good pick to have with triops together. They mainly eat plants, what I've heard of, but I'm not completely sure if they would also eat, like as an opportunistic moment, that they would eat some triops as well. So I'm not completely sure if I would get such a large growing fish. They should be really great at algae eating, but I think a little group or a larger group of autosinclus would do as well. I was thinking about 20 or something, not completely sure, but it is a 180 liters tank, so I think it would be nice to have about 20. Not completely sure if I'm gonna get that many, because there will be a mono shrimp and triops as well. But like I said, first I will be buying some amano shrimp first, just to fill out the tank a little bit and have some life in it. It actually, these guys don't produce a large amount of waste, so it is like, I thought it would be like a nice starter to have at least a little bit of waste building up for the plants to live on, but not too much. So I hope that plan is going to work out as well. I hope you guys like the new scape. It is a scape that I built in 3 days, because basically when we bought the tank, we also bought the plants, the filter, the cabinet, all kinds of stuff, additional stuff for the tank as well. A heater cover, because there actually was a pre-built-in filter inside this tank when I bought it, and it was attached to the glass with silicone. So when I figured that out, I was like, oh damn, now I have to use the stock filter that I really don't like, because they actually need like special parts that you need to buy every time, like over and over again. I really don't like that stuff. So this is the old filter, basically a giant box, jewel aquarium, giant box filter. And it's an inside filter, but I really didn't want such a large chunk of plastic inside my aquarium. Look at the size. That's just giant. You don't want this inside your aquarium. It's a nice addition from Jewel, but I really don't like the filter though. So I removed it and I went for a canister filter instead. I wasn't completely satisfied with the Tetra EX filter, so I bought a JBL filter instead. Over here, let's get a little bit more light, guys, if it's possible. Well, it's a canister filter, pretty large one. Really happy with it, and it cycles at about 1,000 liters an hour, so that's quite a lot. If the tank would be like 200 liters, just 20 liters extra, then it could be like, you know, it would cycle it 5 times an hour, so that's pretty fine. So really happy with the filter capacity as well. I think that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you didn't subscribe already, feel free to subscribe. I will keep updating you guys about this tank and about the 60-liter tank, about the 25-liter tank, and about the hatcheries as well. So if you like to watch more videos from Triassic Power Triops, feel free to subscribe, like I said, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have a nice day.